Previously on Two Past Midnight.
Emmett, are we bolting home or do we want to try to get these guys?
Let's get the heck out of here.
We're jogging down the alley and we're like sticking to the walls and try to, if there's like a dumpster or something, we're trying to run passively and use things as cover as much as possible.
And you're able to circumvent this little problem.
Once we have taken everything from him, and the club begins to fail and he feels pressure from the world around him, then he dies. But not before.
Kind of seems like you're altering our deal a little bit.
We see Jablonski walking off into the night. We see those flashes of light off in the distance. Do you guys remember where we ended last time?
No fucking clue.
Anybody?
We made it back to the...
Yeah, you all made it back to Valentine's hideout.
Yeah.
And I believe we ate our skiers, and that was the end of it.
There was like, you guys could see the artillery in the distance. You could hear the thumping. Mr. Jablonski wandered out of the, whatchamacallit, the refugee camp.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He was like, I'm out of here, because all that shit was going crazy.
Farmer pieced out, that's right.
Yep. And then Valentine and Murph were back at still looking out middle of the night, watching the bunker to kind of get intel from that. And off in the distance, they could see the flashes of the, seemingly distant artillery in the background. And that's kind of where we were. So I think we should open with Lieutenant and Emmett back at Valentine's hideout, since Chris isn't here. So we're gonna have to record this without Chris. Hey, Chris. Everybody say hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Chris.
Patriots suck.
All right, so we're gonna open there. We see Lieutenant and we see Emmett back at Valentine's hideout. They'd eaten their dinner. I'm assuming one of them was sleeping, the other one was on watch type situation, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I was on watch and you laid down, correct?
I believe that's how we did it.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Okay, so that's what we see. We see Lieutenant. He's looking out of that shoddy view hole, since no one's ever gotten a good recon roll out of Valentine's. And apparently it's not a good place to recon from, I guess. And it's just like a slit.
The windows are all boarded up. Yeah.
It's like a little keyhole for him to peek out of. And we see LT standing there, and we can see Emmett laying on the cot, one of the cots that's there. And if there was a camera for this audio-only medium, it would zoom in on Emmett, and we start hearing this, like, crackling sound. And it's like wind, kind of getting louder and louder, and the screen goes black. And then we kind of see, like, it slightly lightens up to a grayish red, and we can see these silhouettes of people walking up through it. And as they get closer, we can tell that it's U.S. soldiers, and they're covered in, like, just soot that's falling from the sky. In the distance, we can see flaming oil wells off in the background, and we see Emmett walking up with his saw at this point, because they weren't giving M60s out anymore. Maybe? 91?
They still had M60s in 91.
Sure, he's got an M60. And we see Emmett, about 10 years younger, walking up through with the rest of his platoon. Emmett.
This has gotten to be a lot more than a security duty, huh?
I mean, I haven't seen shit, though. We haven't seen anybody. I mean, have you even... I've heard of people making contact, but I haven't seen anything. Can't see anything through this shit.
Yeah, they didn't quite prepare us to just be kicking around this sandbox.
No. I mean, from what I heard, the tanks have at least had some kind of something. You know, they've run into somebody, but we haven't seen anything. I don't know, Peterson. Are you planning on re-upping, or what's your plan?
I don't know. I mean, I know I'm missing a lot.
Yeah.
But I just, like I said, I just don't know what else I'd do. I mean, there's not a whole lot of jobs there on the island.
Yeah, but at least you're not getting covered in fucking oil.
That's true too. I didn't really sign up for that.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe you could use this as inspiration. Maybe this is a sign, Maybe you should take up firefighting or something.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess if you can't take the heat, you should get out the kitchen.
Right. Or the desert. Get the fuck out of the desert. Or both.
Yeah. This dry heat ain't nothing for island boy like me.
No.
No, I can handle humidity. This stuff is terrible.
Yeah. It's like being in a fucking oven. And as it's coming down, we can see these like I said, like this black soot kind of raining down. And we zoom in through that, and we can just see like it starts to turn slightly grayish for a little bit. And then it still has like this grayish tint to it, but it's more like snow now. It's more like ash. And we can see LT. He kind of stops for a second. He's looking at his compass and his map. And we can see the rest of his platoon with him. And we see Ben, the CIA agent that's with them. And he says, everything good there, Lieutenant?
Good so far.
About how much further we got on your calculations? It was 50 clicks when we started, so I'm assuming, maybe 30 by now?
I was going to say, we're just about the halfway point, so just to play it safe, we're going to say 30.
All right. Haven't seen much other than civilians around, have you?
Nothing to be too aware of, but boy, am I worried something's going to come real quick.
It's fine. It's been pretty quiet.
Quiet's not always a good sign.
Yeah, but I mean, we're also on this side of the lines,
Yeah.
Like the front lines are a little bit further east than this.
Thank goodness it could have been so much worse.
Yeah. So, where are you from, LT?
Arkansas, sir.
Arkansas?
Yeah. Went into college and found kind of, I had a really good time in college,
Mm-hmm.
Just really enjoyed myself throughout it. And, I enjoyed my ride, switched majors a few times, but at the end of the day, ended up doing some fine arts, a lot of beautiful things to look at in this world. So I decided I was going to do that professionally. And at the end of the day, I loved college so much, I just kind of stayed there and transitioned into teaching.
Oh, what'd you teach?
A lot of different fine arts classes, a lot of different history of arts classes, some theater classes in there as well.
He's kind of looking at you weird.
I mean, you should see the production of Cats we put on. I'm telling you what, Rum Tum Tugger, you've never seen it before.
You're an unusual fellow, Lieutenant.
Yeah, I mean, it's at the end of the day, I was kind of I'll be honest, I was a bit of a trust fund kid. Parents had money. They're both lawyers. Decided I wasn't smart enough to be a lawyer. And just kind of living vicariously through that. And it worked out well until it didn't.
Yeah. So you ended up here then. I mean, why'd the Army pick you?
I've been asking that question about every single day. I'm hoping they saw something I don't even see in myself.
Well, maybe.
And that's not to say, I'm unreliable, but this is not, there are some people that it's encoded in their DNA that this is just, a life they've been waiting for Red Dawn since day one.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't one of those situations, but I've always been able to find a use.
Well, the Army needs that too. They need people that might look at things a little bit differently.
Yeah, and if we ever run across some old rampant museums and we need to look at some, couple centuries old art, a few things, some vases, a statue or for it, I can help you with everything from the Ming Dynasty up through the Blue Period.
Well, I mean, I don't think that your specific area of expertise are relevant to my overall mission, but glad to know that your area of expertise is where it is.
Yeah, well-rounded. We'll be well-rounded, yeah. And if we decide to have a trivia night, there we go.
And we see them still walking, going through this big, open, snowy field. And that same camera would start to pan to the right. And we can hear this like clang, 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 clang sound. And as it keeps panning to the right, we start seeing people outside, and they're not dressed as warmly as they should be for the weather that they're in. You can see people with like frostbit fingers, and we see Valentine standing out there. And we can kind of tell that they're in some sort of work camp, possibly in Siberia, but definitely doesn't look like they're there of their own choice. Jeremy?
The next time the guard comes by, you drop your shovel and I will break his fucking neck.
Should I drop my shovel on his foot, then?
Drop it anywhere you can. Distract him so I can get behind him.
Okay.
We will have only moments before we get the keys. And then, with the snow, we should have time to escape.
As we look off behind him, we can see the snow still coming down, but it's just fucking white out condition behind him, and just that wind's fucking blowing still behind him. And he's like, all right, I will. And we can see the guards kind of walking around. They have AKs. We see this one guard, it's kind of like slung, and he's walking by. And the other prisoner you were just talking to, like, drops the shovel and it makes clang, clang, clang sound as it hits a rock in the snow. And the guard's like, whoa, and like turns real quick to look over. And
Valentine dashes at him, grabs him by the throat, and bites him on the face.
He starts screaming. Blood starts coming down his face and it's mixing with the snow that's falling.
And he just squeezes his throat, and he jumps up. He moves his hands to his jaw, and he just twists as hard as he can, and it just pop.
As all the screaming's happening, Valentine's wrestling with that guy. That other prisoner takes off running out into the snow. And you hear, you, stop, brah, brah. And the other guard that was there with his AK starts taking shots at him, and the rounds hit him, and he falls over into the snow, and we can see blood starting to go. And the guard starts walking out towards him with his rifle up.
Valentine takes off in the opposite direction.
And we come back over to Valentine. He's sitting there watching the bunker at this point. We can see Murphy's back in the back resting. As he's watching the bunker, it's getting later in the night and later, and things are starting to calm down at the nightclub. It's getting close to that time, and we can see people starting to leave. And we can hear people talking. We can hear people talking in Polish walking by. We hear people talking in Russian walking by. We can hear people talking in English walking by. multitude of different languages. It just seems like everyone's been at this club. And as that's going on, we start zooming in closer and closer to Valentine's face, just watching this. And in the background, we can still hear the doof, doof, doof. Some of those noises are bass sounds coming from the bunker still. Some of those are the far-off artillery and the flares and the tracer rounds we can see going off into the night sky. And we zoom in closer to Valentine's face. And we hear another man's voice. And it's in Russian. And he's like, Valentine, I have a man I need you to take care of for me. He's been encroaching on our territory, and I'm not sure what his end plan is, but he seems like he's getting a little too involved in things,
Who is this man?
This man, his name's Jelko. Claims to be a paratrooper. I don't know how true that is. But, I don't know. I need you to find out what he's up to.
I can kill him instead. Do we need to know what he's up to? Or should we just get rid of him entirely?
I feel like we at least need to know what he's up to. Because he might be an ally.
If he's encroaching, then he's hungry. You cannot trust a hungry wolf.
Well, let's find out how hungry he is. If he's a little hungry, then we can make him our pet. And we don't know if he's a wolf yet or not.
He could just be a dog.
Yeah.
In which case, maybe he's good, maybe not. You have my word, sir.
All right. That's what I need you to do, is just find out. You let me know whether you think he's a wolf or a dog.
Yes, sir.
We see Valentine kind of scoping out this warehouse. And he's kind of watching people come and go. I don't know. How do you think he would be scoping out this warehouse, Jeremy?
What era is this? This is after the bombs, before.
This is now?
In
not now. This is sometime, a little while ago. In Krakow.
He's gonna be dressed like a beggar.
Okay.
Like a panhandler. So he's got on really ragged clothes. They're just warm enough to be efficient for the winter, but they're threadbare and there's holes in them, and he's dirty. He's just got a small bucket that's broken in half that he's using to panhandle for any kind of chit or anything anybody's willing to give him. But he's just going up and down and sitting on the corner, panhandling to anybody that's going by. But most of his focus is on the warehouse.
We see a man wearing a blue beret. As a Russian paratrooper comes walking out of the front of this warehouse, and he's flagging down a truck that comes pulling up. It's just a pickup truck. And he goes up and he's talking to the people that are in the front of it, and he sends them around to the back of the building. For a moment there, he looks over at Valentine and just kind of like squints for a second, like he's assessing this bum that's on the other side of the road.
Valentine catches his eye and shakes the bucket.
He kind of shakes his head at him and turns and goes back inside. We cut away from there, and we see Valentine going back over towards where he was meeting his boss, right? We can see him walking down the street, headed back towards the area of the bunker. And as it's getting closer, it's quiet. It's really, really quiet. Like you don't even hear people in the streets. Like you start noticing that this is way too quiet for normal.
Valentine pulls his watch out of his pocket and checks the time. And he knows that the club should be full effect at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's party time, and the club should be roaring, and it's just quiet.
It's nighttime at this point. It's dark out. Occasionally you can see like a bonfire or someone like burning something in a drum just for heat, right? And but up ahead we can see the bunker, and there's no sound coming from it. Not really any lights. It's just fucking quiet.
Valentine takes his time, and he walks along the alleyways, and he doesn't have a good feeling about what's happening. So he starts taking the long way back to the club. Almost seemingly random, like he's searching for things.
Yeah, and like I said before, the whole area around the bunker is desolate, which doesn't mean it's empty. It just means it's rubble. You know what I mean? So it'll be big piles of rubble where buildings used to be, things like that. So there's still cover to like conceal yourself as you're going.
So he's going through the rubble and not even trying to conceal himself if anybody were watching him, but he's picking routes that he knows will hide his sight lines, but trying to make it look like when he's going in the open fields or the open areas, the open sight lines, that he's just looking through the rubble, trying to scavenge anything he can find. Mm-hmm. And he works his way closer and closer to the bunker.
So as he gets closer to the bunker, you begin to see people coming out of the front door of the bunker. And you see a couple guys come out, and they got rifles slung, and they're dragging bodies out of the bunker. See them drag people out. They drop one down, drag somebody else out. Drop them. Drag another person out. Drop them on the ground. And we see that same man in the beret come walking out the front. And he looks down, and he says something, but we're too far away to be able to hear it. And then you look down, and you can tell that last person that was brought out was the same guy that had Valentine go investigate Jelko.
Valentine walks up.
Walks up towards the bunker?
Valentine walks straight up to Jelko.
Well, as he's walking up towards, they're like, "Can I help you? We're closed for the evening."
Do you have spare change, spare bullets, spare food, anything?
And he looks over at one of the other guys with him. He's like, give him something. I'm going inside. Jelko walks inside. Here. And they drop a couple 9mm rounds in your bucket. Go, get out of here.
Okay. Thank you.
And we cut back over to Valentine in that room, looking out over the bunker. It's almost like he can see that moment still. But this time from further away. As he watches people coming out of the bunker and talking.
I said I would kill you, you son of a bitch. Your day is coming. I gave my word, and I never give my word.
Cut back over to Valentine's hideout. And we see Emmett starting to wake up. LT's still looking out that peephole.
About time you woke up. This has been the most boring watch of all time. I still can't see shit out of this bunker.
Well, I mean, that's, I think, kind of how by design, you know?
Nothing out, nothing in.
That's right. Can't nobody be spying on us.
So with that being said, all clear. But that being said, also, our boys aren't back yet. Ain't seen hide nor hair. At what point do we worry? And at what point do we eat their rations?
We eat the rations when we come to that point of needing to eat.
All right, I'm just just taking the pulse.
Yeah, no, survival is above all. I mean, at this point, yeah, we owe Valentine a debt. But in all honesty, I mean, it all comes down to survival. So, you know, dead men hold no debts. So it's a matter of, you know, if and when they return. I mean, even Murph at this point is, well, you've seen it. He's broken at best.
Something tells me he's impossible to kill.
Well, he's definitely been through it. And he's the closest thing I've got to a friend in this world. But at the same time, he's not the same man I knew even 2 months ago.
Hell, I'm not the same man I was 2 months ago. Whew, that's for sure.
Yeah, this world's got a way of
breaking us down, but yeah, so far I've yet to see if we can build it back up. Well, do we want to head out and see do a little recon, see what else or we just want to hold the ground and wait for everybody to get back?
Well, I mean,
Or do we want to track down the group of pricks that stole my pistol and whip the living tar out of them? Throwing that out there at the table. Just because I just kind of sat here not being able to see anything and just thought about punching drunken Polish children in the face. Just FYI.
All of Kyle's characters hate children.
Yeah, 100%. There's a through line with all of them.
and I still love the fact that when he was, when we were at the little town where we got the little girl, it was, I have a teenager.
Well, since we were told to meet in the morning, I think we've got a little bit more time. I'll tell you what, you want to take the next, I'll call it watch, but if it's anything like mine, it's just be awake.
Yeah, I'll take the next turn on the peephole over there. And,
there you go.
You can rest. We should probably try and be as close to top form as we can be. I don't know. I don't know what this guy's going to get us into.
I've never been in indentured servant with a large amount of money on my head before, so this is all new to me. Seems like you guys probably do this fairly often, don't you?
Well, I mean, as far as indentured servitude with a large amount of money on your head, I mean, you've served in the military, so I mean, we're not too far off.
Truer words never told. But to get real for a second, you're going to get us out of this, aren't you? I know it's a lot to ask, but I'm counting on you for this.
Well, then you've got to be able to work with me here.
100%. I will toe the line. I will.
Look, I've been through a lot and gotten to this point. My main mission is to get to my boy Keanu, and last I heard, his tank is blown up north of the city somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, this Valentine that we're now indentured to, I mean, I don't trust him as far as I can throw him. And I don't know what the situation's going to come to, where that comes from. And then anymore, Murph has kind of become a wild card to me. So,
yeah,
you know, as much as I need him and love him, it comes down to the fact that, you know, can we stay focused on the mission at hand?
Mm-hmm. And I'm already kind of, I mean, I thank you for bringing me along with you in here, because out there in that camp, it just seemed like a ticking time bomb. Just one more nervous cat after the other. Tension's constantly high. I mean, I couldn't stay out there anymore. So I'm glad to at least have you in here, and you know, I hope we can get through this. And again, I'm in for trying to find your boy. Again, I got no issue. I think that could be something well served.
Well, I mean, I do owe you a little bit of a debt. I mean, you're You're the reason we were able to get in here. You.
Yeah, I knew the sketchy guy with the neck tattoo, so. But, again, I mean, I'm relying on you for this, so I got you back. And, you know, let's see if we can get out from under this giant boulder that's thousands of dollars, 600 pesos. I wasn't really paying attention to the number.
5,000 bullets a piece.
Yeah.
It was zeros. It was 20,000 total.
Yeah, total 5,000 a piece. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm going to catch a little shut-eye for a bit. You need anything? Give me a holler.
I think that's the best thing you can do right now.
Emmett, roll me a recon roll then.
No successes.
Okay.
There could be a dude in here with a knife to our throat, and we don't know it.
Wouldn't even know. So we see the LT go, and he goes and lays on a cot. And underneath the cot, we see this green crate that we didn't notice before. It's probably about a foot wide, maybe 6 to 8 inches tall or so. And it says M21 on it. And we cut away to, we go back to Conus, and we see Natalie and Noah inside of their steel shipping container that they're in, the metal shipping container. It's middle of the night. It's cold. And Natalie looks a little worse for wear.
I'm so sorry. I told them everything about Butler. I just didn't want him to hit me anymore.
I understand. I mean, I don't even know what they're going to do with that information, but I don't blame you. I don't blame you for just giving in. I mean, from my small amount of time with this, I don't think they were going to relent it anytime soon. I think they would have killed you.
I just don't know what's going to happen to the city, you know?
They're a resilient bunch. They'll be fine.
But they've got no warning.
We didn't have a warning either.
There's got to be some way we can talk out of this. We can get talk our way out of this. There's got to be something. I keep trying to figure out what it is that Frank's looking for, and I just don't know what his game is.
It doesn't seem like he thinks there's anything to gain from us outside of information. He's not willing to team up. He's not willing to let us move on.
I know he doesn't trust me, but have you tried?
He seems completely uninterested in what I have to say. I mean, we gotta get out of here.
We can't. But at this point, I don't even know how we get out.
I would settle for just being dry at this point, but we've got to get out of here.
Or an extra blanket.
Yeah.
So you hear, and the door opens to the shipping container. You see 4 people walk in. They have rifles. One of them's carrying a blanket and tosses it over to Natalie. And then one of the other ones walks over towards Noah. Come with me, man.
Hey, I don't get a blanket?
You're coming with me. She needs a blanket because she's staying here.
Where are we going?
Get the fuck up.
All right. I'm just trying to feel. I just want to know what's going on here. I'm being kind of kept in the dark, literally.
You're coming with me. Come on. Get up.
And of course, I get up, and again, I'm soaking wet and just cold, miserable, and just kind of shamble behind.
Noah, just cooperate. Anything they ask, anything they want to know, just tell them. Just tell them.
All I'm gonna try to get us out of here.
So we see the door close to the shipping containers. As it's closing, we see the two doors, and we see Natalie like in the middle as it closes. And the two people that were closing the doors to the shipping container come walking up behind Noah, and the other two people are in front. And they're kind of like quadranted around Noah, and they're walking towards a house. And you can see the light on inside this house. And we go walking up towards it. And it's just a trailer home, like in the middle of this razor wired, makeshift fortification. And they go walking up to the front door, up the little like porch. One opens the door. It's like, go ahead, go in.
All right. I knock before I go in.
You hear Frank, come on in.
Hey, you sent for me?
Noah goes in, and two of the guys come in too, and the other two stay outside. He's like, yeah, have a seat. We look around, and we can see the kitchen, and there's a kitchen table, and there's scrambled eggs, bacon, hash browns, some sausage. He's like, well, why don't you go ahead and have a seat?
I appreciate it.
It's like one of those old, like, metal leg tables with, like, that weird patterned kind of, plastic kind of top. And, like, the chairs and the cushions all kind of match that same chrome, on the frames of them. The cushions match the same texture on the top. It's kind of this weird green mixed in with, like, a gray. And, Jeremy knows the table I'm talking about.
Wait, are you Frank?
But yeah, and we see the egg, and he's like, go ahead and help yourself.
Oh, man, I really appreciate it.
You want a cup of coffee too?
Absolutely. Some warm coffee sounds just absolutely wonderful right now.
He grabs this like percolator and like pours you a cup of coffee out of it.
Oh, thank you. That really hits the spot.
In the background, we can still see those two people that have walked up there. One's actually a man, the other one's a woman, and they're standing there, and the woman does not look very pleased to be standing there, and neither does the guy. They both look pretty fucking grumpy because it's early in the morning, and they just have that, stern kind of look on their face.
The resting face.
Yeah, the resting face. The resting stern face. That's what we're going to call it, so it's gender neutral. And they're just kind of standing over there by the door, kind of like back behind the two of you. And Frank's kind of leaned back in his chair, and he says, so, Professor, how well do you know this Natalie?
Oh. Well, I mean, we don't go way back or anything. We've just spent the last few months at the same place. It's kind of a relationship of opportunity. I mean, we both just found ourselves in this situation, and we've kind of had each other's back for the last few. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, she's just some reporter, and I'm just some professor. I mean, we're all a long way from home, and we're all just trying to find our way. And we were in a battle not too long ago, and she really helped me out there. So I feel indebted to her because she's been there for me in the last few. But as far as are we old childhood friends? I couldn't tell you a whole lot about her. Other than she was heading up in Ohio writing an article when everything went all to shit. And we both found ourselves here in Kentucky, and, we've tried to be each other's strength.
You like them eggs?
Oh, very well done. It's so nice that you have real food. It's been just, found jerky and old cans of tuna and MREs and things for the last few weeks since we left.
Yeah, them are duck eggs, by the way.
I could tell a lot more rich. Yeah, my grandmother used to say duck eggs make the best noodles because of how rich they are. It was an old family tradition, so it feels like home.
Yeah, we just didn't have any chickens left, so we've been getting duck eggs.
Chickens can be frail, I understand. But really hits the spot.
So this town Butler, where y'all been staying.
Mm-hmm.
How likely do you think they would be to side with this new established, government?
Well, I mean, we just came from a situation where the government they stole every able-bodied person and left for military service without asking, came in and just kind of railroaded the place. So I'm sure the sentiment at the moment is the anti of that, because I mean, they've been left in a dearth because of that. We were able to escape out without, having ourselves voluntold what to do. So, I mean, there's a lot of really good people in that community. A lot of people helping each other out and trying to form, whatever they can do for a society. I mean, of course, you got people on every thought process of the spectrum. There's an old lady that, as long as the cat's there, that's where she's siding. So, I mean, yeah, I can't speak for an entire community, but I could say the last thing we had involved did not have a good faction of the military because, like I said, they came in and just drafted some good people that I know are really, pulling their weight a lot there. And now there's they're in a hole.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really a fan of people coming around and imposing their will on other people.
100%.
Somewhat related. I do apologize for y'all's treatment up to this point. I know it's been a little bit harsh, but I mean, from my perspective, things have been a little bit squirrely and it's hard to know who to trust sometimes. You know what I mean?
I get it, and I'm just so relieved that, I mean, you're such a reasonable guy, but Natalie's beat to shit, so I came in here butthole puckered, really worried about this whole situation.
Well,
but
I mean,
at the end of the day, I've got no ulterior motive. I've got no evil towards anybody. It's just survival, man.
See, I can tell that about you. But that other one.
She's just a reporter.
Listen.
She's just a reporter.
You say that,
yeah.
But between me and you, something else going on with her.
You think? I mean,
let's tell you what. Keep this between us.
No,
right?
Absolutely.
Because I don't want. Sometimes information can be dangerous. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
Sometimes letting people know that you know what you know can get dangerous. Can put a target on your back, right?
100%.
So I'm just warning you. I'm just letting you know. I'm fairly certain that woman is working for that government down in Cynthiana.
You think? If that's the case, I've been used more than I feel comfortable with, but she's never even shown a large sentiment towards. Interesting.
Yeah.
Can I ask what makes you think that?
I have my reasons. Certain things that she says, certain things she does,
certain
answers she gave to certain questions.
I'll be perfectly honest. As I came in here, she said, I've told them everything. You just tell them everything, was her advice to me. So, she didn't say, don't tell it. I mean,
that makes sense. I mean, like I said, certain things she would say led me to this conclusion. So I'm just forewarning you. That's all I'm saying is, look, man, I can tell you're trustworthy, is what I'm saying.
I appreciate that.
Her, on the other hand, I don't trust her.
And again, I understand that, but I am coming from a city. I owe her a bit of a debt. She has saved my life on the way here. She has, she's the reason I'm not dead and buried at the moment. So, just FYI, while I'm not going to sell anybody out for her, she's, I would feel bad if you wanted me to go in and spy directly on her, which I think is kind of what you're getting at.
I'm not getting at that. That's not what I'm saying at all.
Right.
I'm not expecting to spy on her. All I'm saying is...
That being said, if she is up to what you're implying, I'm on your side with it.
So I'm not asking you to spy for me. All I'm saying is watch your back. That's all.
Oh, appreciated.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
We'll watch her. We'll keep an eye on her.
Yeah.
And as I said, y'all's treatment up to this point, we've been a little bit, rough with y'all.
It's been scary. I mean, I didn't come here expecting the Holiday Inn, but, we came in with hands up and, hey, guys, I know we're in your territory. What can we do?
Well, I mean, at least now you got a continental breakfast, I guess.
Absolutely. Better than that Best Western a couple of years ago.
But there's a room in the back. Bathroom back there. You head down this way if you want to go take a shower. There's a fresh set of clothes if you want. There's a bed back there. And if you want to, go rest up, you're more than welcome.
Absolutely. Hey,
finish your breakfast first.
Yeah.
Of course.
I really appreciate it. I came in here expecting to get the piss beat out of me.
No, man, we're well past that stage.
All right. Right. Yeah.
Once I get a full assessment of somebody, I don't got to worry about that level of barbarism anymore. So.
And again, my friends call me Noah. Some people just call me Professor. Again, whatever I can do to be useful, just let me know.
I mean, in all honesty, the most useful thing you could do right now is maybe keep it quiet about my suspicions about Natalie.
No issues with that whatsoever.
Let's just keep that between us and this breakfast. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm going to head into that shower now. This was delicious. Compliments to the chef. It obviously wasn't these two, but whoever that was. Big fans.
Yeah, no. Jimbo and Darlene are fucking terrible cooks. Shut the fuck up, Jimbo. You're a terrible cook. But yeah, go ahead. And I hope this, I know, like I said, you all had rough treatment up to this point, and this may not make things, even, as it were, or necessarily, win your favor, but I hope it at least gets us headed in the right direction.
I mean, I understand being cautious. I understand, being on guard and seriously vetting anybody you let into a community. But at the end of the day, if our hands are washed and we're all well and good, water under the bridge. Water under the bridge.
Yeah, I get that. All right, well, enjoy your shower. And as I said, last room on the end, all the way at the end of the hall.
I appreciate it.
That'll be your room.
Get up, push my chair in, and head down the hall, and feeling optimistic and a little still in shock from the fact that this didn't turn out at all like I thought it was going to.
We cut back over into the shipping container, and we see Natalie sitting there. She's got this quilt over top of her. Looks like a patchwork quilt of random bits and pieces of different old blankets or fabrics. You just hear the wind outside. What's Natalie doing?
She's sitting there and she's shivering, and she's got the quilt wrapped up around her as tightly as she can, but it's still just not enough to keep her warm with as cold as she is. And she starts counting back through her head, and she's remembering the lessons that she's learned. Okay, just gather my thoughts. And she's reflecting inside her own head, and she's not necessarily talking out loud because she doesn't know who is there to hear her. All right, you gave them up about Butler, but they still don't know the rest of it. It's good. This is okay. This is salvageable. I can make it out of this. I don't know what Noah's gonna tell them, but he doesn't know anything. All he knows is about Butler. It's fine. I wish we could do more for that town. I don't know what these people are gonna do. But they don't know. They don't know. It's okay. It's all right. You did good. You did good. Okay. All right. Next steps. Next steps. Where do we go from here? They've got Noah. There's 2 in the front. There's at least 4 armed guards. And Frank that we know of. All right. Okay, so 4. How do I convince one of them? Which one's the weak one? Which one do I convince to let me out of here? Which one is it? Which one?
From that, we see Natalie, and we kind of like pull back and we pull through the steel door. We hear the shower going inside the trailer, and we see Frank come out the front door, and he walks past those 2 guys that were outside, and he walks down the stairs, and he goes walking by, and for a second there he pauses and looks over at the shipping container, and then he keeps walking past. He walks down a little way, and we see this metal shed. He's walking there, and we can see a couple people walking around that building. And he comes walking up, and he's waving as he's walking towards it. And they open the door up for him, and he goes inside. And inside, we see this large metal object of some sort, and we're not quite sure what it is because it's still dark in there. And looks over at the other person that's there, and it's like, I mean, this is going to be pretty useful when it all comes down to it, but I mean, I don't think we have to use it. We just gotta let people know we have it and we can use it. You know what I mean? So that should be enough of a deterrent, if you know what I mean. Says, yeah, I know what you mean. So the trick is how do we let them know that we got it without letting them know where it is? Like, yeah, I mean, they were looking for that crashed plane still, so I don't think we're going to be able to keep it here much longer. And we cut away and end there.
That's fucking amazing.
You like that?
I do. Wow.
Brian, are you confused, or did you?
No, I got it.
Okay. I was just checking. I've been debating on when to like drop that in.
Huh. And here, I just thought they were a bunch of fucking,
They are. They just also happen to have gotten a hold of something.
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't know what's worse. The fact that we don't know where it's at, or the fact that we've done this so many times we have a name for it.
You mean a broken arrow?
Mm-hmm. It's my favorite line from that movie. I don't know what's worse. The fact that we lost a nuclear weapon, or the fact that we have a name,
got a name for it.
Holy shit.
No. Yeah.
Was that an encounter card, or is that a site?
Nah, that's Adam's been thinking that'd be a cool
Fucking
thing
around
for
with
a
it.
while now. Yeah.
That's fun. That really raises the stakes for why these people are in the story. Yeah. All right. Wow. Fun. That's not going to be terrible in any kind of way.
No, surely not.
I don't want to go back to Poland. I want to do more Konas.
That's because you got a shower and a breakfast. I got the shit beat out of me and thrown into a shipping container.
They know what they're doing.
Oh, man.
I pulled its encounter card for Emmett and LT, but no, you guys, didn't
Haven't
notice
noticed
them.
it.
They didn't notice you, so it was an irrelevant one.
Well, that's exactly what we talked about. Is if you can't see in
Right
there,
here.
you can't see out. Then none of this needs to happen.
Just because you can't see out and you don't notice them doesn't mean they don't notice you. So, but
You're
it's
welcome.
Nighttime. Camp won, so they could have totally noticed you, but they didn't. So, and you also didn't notice them walking by, so that's okay. It's okay.
And that's what you get when you roll 3 successes on hide in your camp.
That's right.
That's how that works.